Hey there, this is Andrew bringing you another Keyforge deck reveal and review. This is going to be a fancy, snazzy new Dark Tidings deck. And I think this is the correct side, looks like it. Don't show those houses. Alright, so this is Bandit. Wonder what that is. Bandit, Brendan Jemvex. Definitely get some shadows here. And let's guess Star Alliance, and I guess Star Alliance a lot, I think. And Logos. Shadows. It's the only one I got right. And then we got Untamed and Unfathomable as well. Loving the Unfathomable. I enjoy them so much. The fishies. Between Untamed and Shadows, I am hoping for some, of course, well, I'm hoping to be able to outrace my opponent on Aember. Maybe some by stealing from them, some by printing my own. And then in Unfathomable, I'm hoping to slow them down. So we should be starting with Shadows. Ooh, Depno Spymaster. This is a great card. It is a 1-power elf thief with elusive. It has Omni. Choose a friendly creature. You may use that creature this turn. So basically, as long as this is alive, it lets you use a creature that's off house each turn, which is cool. Borrow is an action with a bonus aember that says play, take control of an enemy artifact. While under your control, it belongs to House Shadows instead of its original house. So this is a great card. It's like Snecklifter, but in action form. It's a great card. It is really good against useful artifacts, obviously. It is not useful for getting rid of the really problem static two-way effect artifacts, right? Like, so this won't help you with Quixelstone, but very good against like a Lash of Broken Dreams. Ooh, Brent. The Fanatic, he's a 3-power elf thief with Skirmish. Play, your opponent gains 1, destroyed, steal 3. It's a great card. Trickle-Down Theory, another great card. This is an artifact, it's a power. When you play it, you raise the tide. People tend to forget that, so don't forget that when you play it, you raise the tide. And it has Omni, gain 1 if your opponent has 6 or more. So if this is on the table early, that's at least 3 times a game that this is very likely to be fireable. Um, Perhaps more often than that, if you can get them to go up and then steal them back down, it can generate a lot of amber. Two of these is very good. It's very good. Awesome. I wouldn't have been sad to see a third, but 2 is very good. Cement Shoes is an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, you deal 2 damage to a creature. If this damage destroys that creature, raise the tide. This is a good way to kill your own Brend as well, so nice stuff there. 2 of those. Boom, you got that. Those 2 in Brend in hand, you finish them off. Very nice. Also good for Hard Simpson. Hard Simpson is a 4-power elf thief with elusive. After he's dealt damage, you steal an amber. If the tide is low, your opponent steals an amber instead. If the tide is neutral, you still get the steal. Very good with plinky damage cards like Cement Shoes. I am now convinced contra what TCO does, but after reading the rules and I wasn't the one who first came to this conclusion. I think it was Blinking Line, um, but I read up after I heard that, and I have to agree. If he's armored, then it doesn't trigger. If unless he actually takes a damage. If a damage is actually dealt, then it fires. So we might be able to boost the power with Untamed. We'll see. And I mean, getting to fire it once or twice is still really good. Scooped is an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, you deal 2 damage to a creature. If it's not destroyed, it captures 1 from its own side. It's a slow steal. It's great. And it gets around you can't steal effects. Scooped and then Cement Shoes is a nice little combo to kill 3 or 4 power creatures and get a steal and a tide raise out of it. Very nice. Seeker Needle, great for the Hard Simpson, great for the Brend. right? It's an action, or it's an artifact rather. It's a weapon. It has action, deal 1 to a creature. If this damage destroys that creature, gain 1. So if you have the Seeker Needle out, you play Hard Simpson, you cement shoes him, you Seeker Needle him. He's at 3 now. You stole 2, and there's nothing left for the opponent to get a steal out of. So you don't have to worry now about them dropping the tide and doing that. So it's a really nice to be able to do the plinky damage with him. And again, great for Brend too, because you do a cement shoes and then a seeker needle on the Brend. You've killed it. You've stolen 3, and then you gain an extra 1 from the seeker needle. So really, really good effect. 2 seeker needles. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. It's just so good. So okay, I like this shadows. This is a great shadows. Shoulder Id, 6 power specter with taunt. It can't fight. When it would deal damage, you steal 1 instead. It's fine. I don't love it, but it's fine. Yeah, these combined with the trickle down is so nice. I love this. Okay, this is a great shadow setup. On to Unfathomable. Let's see if we get good Unfathomable too. I like it so far. Abandoned Ship. It's an action with a bonus aember. You return a creature to its owner's hand. If the tide is high, you return 4 instead. Now that's not up to 4, that is 4. So if the tide is high, you return 4. That means if you have creatures sitting on the board that you don't want to return, could be bad, but we'll see. Usually this turns out very good. It's a great card. Then we have Bubbles. It's a 5 power Aquan. When you play it, you put an enemy creature on top of its owner's deck. Very nice. Sometimes you could even play the Bubbles, abandon ship, get the Bubbles back, play it again, put another creature. So you end up putting 2 creatures on top of their deck instead of in their hand, which is definitely better. And another Bubbles. Awesome. Really good here. Maelstrom, an action. When you play it, you put each creature on top of its owner's deck in a random order, gain 2 chains. We don't seem to be super creature heavy here, so this is actually really nice to have when you're not creature heavy because it means you're going to clog their deck up. Obviously, unless they have all good play effects. If they have a lot of good play effects, that's less good for you. But if not, then this is a great way to just clog them up for a long time. And 2 chains is, I think, worth it. Portal is an action with a bonus aember. When you play it, if the tide is high, you archive it. Otherwise, you raise the tide. Great card. Seems fun. 2 of those. Cool. This is my second time getting 2. If you have 2 of these, it might even be worth, paying the chains to get to archive both of them again, just for that repeat Amber Gen. But I am not totally sure how I feel about that. 3 portals. With 3, it would really be tempting. And then Rakuzel's Chant. Excellent card here. It's an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, you exhaust a creature, but if the tide is high, you exhaust each creature instead. Look at how many amber pips we have so far. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 amber pips, which is okay. But then we got a lot of steel and a lot of just clogging up the opponent. So the biggest problem I'm worried about now in Shadows is my opponent going to have enough amber to steal? But we have the Brend to help with that a little. So I think it's going to be good. What else do we have in Unfathomable? Sink or Swim. This card works out better than I thought it would. When you play it, you choose one. Either your opponent discards a random card from their hand, or you exhaust a creature in each of its neighbors. That second effect feels great, especially when you've just been messing with them so hard. You do that, or you just knock a card out of their hand if you already played the Rakuzel's Chant or something. It's really good. Storm Surge. It's an action. When you play it, your opponent can't ready cards during the ready card step of their next turn. It makes Rakuzel's Chant be, turns it into they're not going to have cards ready for a long time. You're really putting them out of commission. Second, Storm Surge. I like it. Again, no Amber Pips on this, but uh, what it's worth in terms of game pacing is, I think, pretty high. And then, so you do Rakuzel's Chant Storm Surge, play out some other stuff for a couple turns, and then you turn around and Maelstrom or something. It's just really gross. All right. Wacolia is a 3 power beast. When it reaps, keys cost +2 during your opponent's next turn. That's fine. And actually, really good combo with the trickle down theory, right? You use the trickle down theory, do this to keep them from forging. You're going to get to use the trickle-down theories again next turn. That's great. Okay, let's look at Untamed now. We'll start with Ritual of Life, which is an artifact. It's a power. It has action, destroy a friendly creature. If you do, return a different creature from your discard pile to your hand. We'll have to see what creatures we get. Um, I mean, I don't think I'd necessarily want to do this for anything out of house at this point. Oh, Word of Returning. That's great. It's an action with a bonus aember. When you play it, you deal 1 damage to each enemy creature for each aember on it, and then you move each aember from those creatures to your pool. Great if you're against any sort of Saurian or Sanctum setup. It's a really good card. And worst case scenario, it's an aember, but it's a great card. Wow, so much recursion here. A world tree is an artifact. It's a location. It has action. Return a creature from your discard pile to the top of your deck. Now that is a good combo with the out of house cards, right? Like Bubbles, Hard Simpson. I mean, these are World Tree is good with those because you're going to get it, you're going to draw it. So whereas with Ritual of Life, I think you're going to tend to want to return an untamed creature to your hand. Now, I can imagine a cool setup where you do Ritual of Life to kill Brend, and then World Tree and get back like an untamed creature, and then you play World and you use World Tree to get the Brend back on top of your deck and draw it again. That could be really fun. Beach Day is an action with bonus aember. You return a creature to its owner's hand. If the tide is high, gain 1. Now this is good to disrupt. It's also very good if we get like a Deepwater Gruin or something like that. Um, then it can be great for just printing a lot of amber really fast. So we'll see what we get here. I'm feeling good. Bumblebird is a 1-power beast and insect with alpha. It's terrible. When you play it, you give 2+1 power counters to each other friendly untamed creature. We haven't seen any yet. We'll see what we get, but the number of times that Bumblebird actually does something is pretty low. That's okay though. Genetic Drift is an action with a bonus aember, and when you play it, you give a creature a +1 power counter, and then you give each creature with a +1 power counter another +1 power counter. Okay. Well, that could make this is potentially a way to make Hard Simpson bigger. Um, so we'll see how that works out. Spore Gorger. Wow. All right, so Spore Gorger is a 4-power beast and fungus. After it reaps, you give it a +1 power counter, and then you may remove all the +1 power counters from it. And then for each counter you remove this way, you deal 1 damage to each other creature. So this ends up being like a board wipe. And with Genetic Drift, you could actually get it up to, like you have it ready, you play Genetic Drift, you get it up to 2 counters, you reap it's up to 3 counters, you spend those, you've done real damage to the board. Um, that's really good. And again, this is a great way to get your Brend dead. Wouldn't mind getting a Key Frog in here. Okay, Floomph is a 3-power beast and cat. It has skirmish. When it fights, you give a beast counter 2+1 power counters. That could go on the Spore Gorger. This also could like go on itself, and then you Genetic Drift gives it boost. It's great either way. Infighting, really good because our creature count so far is so low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 is a super low creature count. We have 3 cards left. So we will see what we get, but not even 12. Let's say we get the next 3 cards are creatures. We get 12 creatures in here. Infighting is great because it just doesn't do that much to our game plan and it savages the opponent's game plan. Thing this deck is missing a little bit is some efficiency, right? We're just going to be playing the cards as we get them, but it seems so disruptive to the opponent. I think it's going to be great. Okay, last 3 cards here. We got another infighting. Okay. Miliobi. Okay, so that's our 10th, no, 11th creature. Yeah, I think 11th creature. 4-power beast. While the tide's high, it gets skirmish, and before it fights you, enrage the creature it fights and each of the creature's neighbors. More great disruption there. And then we have a youngest bear who's a 2-power beast. After it reaps, you may reap with one of its neighbors. So, and that's a great target too. These are all great targets for the Flumph. I mean, really cool synergy in the Untamed here. Not as bursty as I was hoping originally, but still some good stuff. And Unfortunately, no good play effects other than the Bumblebird, which like doesn't combo with the Ritual of Life. But still, I think it seems great to me, honestly. So how many Amber Pips do we have? So like total one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so if you just play the deck and nothing happens, and never use a creature and nothing else happens, you're going to have enough to forge 2 keys. That's okay. That's okay. But then you couple with that, stealing 3 with the Brend. That's almost for sure going to happen. Gaining a lot with the trickle down theory. Um, Stealing 2 or 3 off the Hard Simpson, very likely. Gaining some with Seeker Needle, and then the fact that you're just really grinding your opponent, slowing them down. And that Maelstrom is going to be devastating because 13 creatures, I think. Um, 3, 4, 5, and we had 6 each. So, oh no, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 creatures and a Maelstrom. It's just going to really gum up the opponent's works. I think this is a great deck. I'm very excited to play around with this and get some wins and see how it goes. I think this has a lot of potential. Very controlling. Again, you have to play cards as you get them, so it's more Coda style, but really good stuff and I think high potential. So that's that. That was Bandit, Brend, and Jemvex. I'm excited about it. I hope you enjoyed watching or listening, and that you'll get out and forge some keys.